Buenas tardes, Nogalenses. Welcome back to En Línea with Joe Wright. We have a big show tonight. We've got a lot of things to cover, and we're going to have to cover it fast because we have two guests that are going to be with us tonight. We've got Mayor-elect Arturo Garino. Congratulations, Arturo. And we have the music director at Challenger Elementary, who's one of the most dedicated music directors that I've ever seen. He's not only dedicated to what he does, he loves it, and he makes sure that the kids develop a love for music too, and that's Fred Milner. So before we get started, I want everybody to, if you're watching right now, make sure that you give this video a like and a share. Make sure that everybody sees this. Our guests, they work very hard at what they do, and their voices deserve to be heard. Everybody deserves to hear what they have to say. Also, don't forget that this isn't our only platform. We also have an Instagram, we have Twitter, and we have a YouTube channel. After this video is done, it will be uploaded to YouTube, and the audio of this will be uploaded to iTunes and Stitcher for you to listen to on a podcast. If you have a long commute and you don't have a chance to watch this video, or you know somebody who needs to hear this information but isn't able to see the video for whatever reason, recommend they listen to the podcast. Now, another thing. So if you're watching this video right now and you have other things that you need to do on your phone, or you don't have a half hour to sit there and stare at your phone, you have other things to do, friends to message, things like that, you can actually tap on the screen and then tap on the upper left-hand corner. There's a little square up there, and that turns the little video into a small screen, a small little rectangle in the corner. And you can go about your business, do whatever you want on your phone, make phone calls, play Candy Crush, whatever it is you want to do, while still watching this video. So you won't miss a thing. You won't miss anything we have to say, and you can continue to do what you need to do. So, like I said, we've got a great show tonight. But before that, I also want to thank our newest sponsor, Croppers Auto. The Chevy, Buick, and GMC. They've decided to invest in us, and we're excited to develop a working relationship with them. Last week was the Fresh Produce Association's historic 50th annual Fresh Produce Convention. It was huge. I mean, we got a video with Patty Henich, the world-famous PBS chef. That was a great video, and we got some awesome photos that you can see on our Facebook page. We love Nogales. Sorry about that. Apparently I had an alarm set on my phone for some reason. Also, last week was Dia de los Muertos, and the consulate had their event. Go to our Facebook page again, and you can see all the pictures from that. There's some Las Catrinas, they were amazing, beautiful. Some really, really, really beautiful makeup and artwork there, and the altars. Also, the Chamber of Commerce has some wonderful pictures on their Instagram of their altars that they have there, and some from the consulate. All right, so let's cover really quick. I think we need to probably talk about the events that are coming up. Tomorrow at Challenger Elementary School is their fall festival. And what it is it's just a great little community festival. There will be games, there will be food, and it's for a good cause. It's to raise money so that these kids can go on really educational, positive field trips, experiences that they'll remember for the rest of their lives. I mean, some of my best field trips that I remember when I was in elementary school were the ones that had an impact, and they were educational, but they were also fun. And that's what the Challenger is trying to do with this festival. They're trying to raise that money so they can send their students on really quality field trips. The Veterans Day Parade will actually not be on Veterans Day. It'll be on Sunday. I'm thinking probably around 10 o'clock. You should show up at least an hour early so that you can get parking. I mean, if you've ever been to any parade in Nogales, you know that you need to show up early, or you're going to be the last one to leave for sure. It'll be hard to get out. On Monday, there's going to be the first ever indoor bike tour here at the Nogales Community Development Building, which is the old Foxworth building downtown. And what it is it's a stationary bike tour. There will be stationary bikes set up, and people will come in, and people who've registered will come in, and they'll do a bike tour on a stationary bike. On the 14th, Wednesday, the 14th of November, we've got the Nogales Bicycle and Pedestrian Master Plan, and it's a community open house for 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. at City Hall within the City Council chambers. And it's going to be where they'll be talking about plans to continue to make Nogales a more pedestrian and bicycle-friendly city. Then the following day, on Thursday, there will be Aflicción o Adicción. And this is an event put on by the consulate, El Consulado General, with Psicológica Gabriela Leva, psychologist Gabriela Leva. And it'll be talking about different kinds of addictions and afflictions. There's cyber addictions, video games, drugs, and alcohol, and all kinds. As you all know, I mean, there are dozens, I mean, hundreds, if not hundreds, of different kinds of addictions. Tobacco, drugs. Facebook itself is one. YouTube. There's cyber addictions is one of the rising afflictions that people suffer in this modern age. And they're going to be working on bringing some awareness to it and helping people figure out ways to get out of it. Then, of course, finally, the 36th Tour de Tucson will be the 17th on Saturday. And our Nogales' very own Cero Estres will be there riding around. In fact, Chief Bermudez from the Nogales Police Department will be on the Tour of Tucson. He won't be there with Cero Estres. He and his wife registered separately, but we'll be cheering him on either way. Okay, so like I said, it's November and has already been a huge month. We had the elections, and we had the convention, Dia de los Muertos. It's been a big month, but most of all, especially the elections. I mean, the local mayoral election has been riddled with controversy and conflict since before Greg Lucero dropped out of the race. But we finally got some closure on that. I mean, Arturo Garino won fair and square. I mean, handily won. Something like 2,000 votes above everybody else. 2,735 votes. The city council election was, two of the candidates are assured. That's Hector Bojorquez and Esther Melendez Lopez. They were the top two, and their seats on the city council are assured. But from what I understand, it's still pretty tight between Rojas and Rushton, and all the numbers aren't in yet to verify who is going to take that seat. Judge Fink also retained his seat as a Santa Cruz County judge, winning against Mark Williams. I mean, you've seen Mark Williams signs around. You've probably even seen him standing on the corners waving to people. But he didn't. I mean, despite having invested massive amounts of money in his campaign, Thomas Fink still won out. Now, I'm probably not going to get into this next part too much because it's not really local. It's more state, and that has to do, the governor's election and the Senate election. Doug Ducey won, and he won by a pretty hefty amount. So he's retained the governor's seat in Scottsdale. But the real controversy is between Mick, Sally, and Cinema. If you've been tracking, even if you haven't seen the commercials, you've probably gotten the mail. Those pamphlets and those cards that are just trashing one another. Each one of them spent about $30 million on that campaign, which is, I think, one of the most expensive campaigns ever in the state of Arizona. Up until about an hour ago, McSally held the lead by about 1%, and about an hour ago, Cinema took that lead by, I want to say it was like 0.8. It's so close that lawsuits are being made. Both sides are getting teams of lawyers. It's insane, and we probably won't have closure on that issue for weeks at the very least. We'll have to see what happens. Another controversy surrounding that is the early ballots getting turned in or even mailed out on time. Not all of the early ballots got mailed out on time, and some people, from what I understand, haven't even gotten their early ballots yet, and the election's already over. And that's despicable. It's a disgrace. So from what I understand is at least the Republican Party is issuing a lawsuit to all county recorders all across the state. So we'll just have to see how that goes. I'll keep you posted on that. I'm keeping track on that. Nationwide, Republicans retained the Senate and Democrats did take the House. We'll have to see what changes come. If any. Hopefully some things will change, and we'll just have to keep an eye. Another really, really important thing that I'm going to talk about, and I'm not going to show the video. I'm sure you've seen the video. The Nogales International posted it, and it's been circulating around. But there was a fatal accident on I-19 just days ago. Horrific, fatal accident that could have easily been avoided by safe driving. So more important than anything, if you're road rage, put it to the side. Just put it away. Not worth it. If you're in a hurry, it's not worth your life or the life of your passengers or the life of anybody else on the road to rush. It's still going to be there. I mean, no matter how long you take, it's still going to be there. Drive safe. It's not worth, like I said, it's not worth your life, your passengers' lives, or the lives of anybody else on the road. Last week, to a lighter note, now that I really brought the room down, let's go to a lighter note. Last week, I issued a challenge to everybody, not just men, but men and women. Anybody watching is for No Shave November. November is No Shave November, and what it is it's a challenge for nobody to shave for the entire month of November, to raise awareness of men's health issues such as testicular cancer and things like that. I have not shaved for the entire month of November yet. Edgardo, si conoces al Edgardo, ya sabes que he's already got the full beard, rocks that full beard. I mean, I'm jealous of that beard. Seriously, I want that beard. And if you're going through with the challenge, I want you to take a picture and send it to us. Show us how it's coming. Keep us updated. Obviously, you'll see mine weekly on the show. But let us know. Another challenge that I issued last week, because like I said, November's a big month. Elections, No Shave November, and National Novel Writing Month. And I don't know how many of you may have actually taken up this challenge, but I did. I do every year, actually, and I fail every year miserably. For some reason, November is just not a good writing month for me. I've written maybe 2 paragraphs. That's how bad it is. And I can usually knock out 10 to 20 pages a night. 2 paragraphs is all I've written for the entire month of November. We're on the 8th. We're a week in, and that's all I've got. But if you did take up that challenge, let us know how you're doing. Keep us updated. Send us a message. Send us a post. Even put it in the comments right now. Just let us know how it's going. All right, so Veterans Day, we covered a Veterans Day parade. We covered the Fall Festival, which, again, at Challenger Elementary School at 3 p.m., from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Tickets will be on sale at the door, and this is for the whole community to come out. Come out, support your schools, support these kids, help them get this opportunity to have really good quality, fun, and educational field trips. So real quick, if you follow me on Facebook, then you saw the picture I posted yesterday about how much weight I've lost. It shows a picture of me when Santos interviewed me at the end of June to my interview last week with Patty Kinich. And I've lost 40 pounds since then. And if you've seen the picture, I think Edgardo's going to put it up right here. The difference is dramatic, and it feels great. I'll admit it. But that doesn't mean I'm not scared. I'm not done, and I'm terrified because tamale season is coming. Pozole season. All the best foods. Thanksgiving is just right around the corner, and that's turkey, stuffing, carbs. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to put on at least another 10 pounds before the season's over. At least. Maybe I'll have to do another before and after picture to see how much I've gained. But you know what? One thing that I did, I got a lot of good comments on the picture that I posted, saying how it's motivating to other people to see that kind of progress made. And that made me feel really good that I'm actually motivating other people. And so if you have a diet plan or an exercise plan that works great for you, share it with us. Let us know. Put it on our page, send us a message, and we'll share it with the community. People need that kind of motivation. I need that kind of motivation for me to continue to lose weight. Sometimes you feel like it's impossible. I felt like it was impossible. Sometimes I felt like I was on the treadmill every day. I was doing cardio. I was eating better. And so I felt like there was no difference being made at all until I saw the picture. That was 4 months of hard work, and I was about to give up. And then I looked at the pictures. I wanted to compare. I looked at the pictures, and I saw the difference. And it reinvigorated, revitalized my drive to continue to be healthy, to live healthy. I've talked before about my father passed away at 61 years old from pancreatic cancer. And he didn't take care of himself at all. He was in terrible shape. He could have gotten pancreatic cancer anyway. But the way that he took care of himself really affected his ability to fight it. And as soon as he hit they got his first stroke from the cancer, it was done. He was practically a vegetable for the next 2 months. And I don't want that for my family. If I ever have a stroke or a heart attack or anything, I want my body, or cancer, God forbid, I want to be able to fight it. I want to be strong enough to fight it for my son and for my future grandchildren. So that's my main motivation for losing weight and living healthy. Now, one last thing before we take a break and go to our guests is, and this is a debate that I want to open up to all of you, and you can debate it in the columns. Let us know how you feel about this, and maybe we'll even open it up to bigger debate later on. But this is about Christmas decorations. As soon as Halloween ends, people start throwing up their Christmas decorations. They throw up the Christmas tree. I mean, even before Halloween starts, the stores have it. So what's your opinion? Should you put, is it okay? Is it acceptable to put Christmas decorations up, Christmas lights, Christmas trees up before Thanksgiving, or should you wait until after? Let us know what you think, and we'll see. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll be with Mayor-elect Arturo Garino and the music director of Challenger Elementary School, Fred Milner. We'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so ya regresamos, and we're here with Mayor-elect Arturo Garino. Congratulations. Here, let me get up and shake your hand real quick.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you very much.
And we're here. Well, actually, you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Hello, I'm Fred Milner. I'm the music teacher at Challenger Elementary School.
Okay.
And I'm Arturo Garino, Mayor-elect of the city of Nogales.
All right, and former mayor. I mean, you were mayor.
Yeah, I was former mayor and former city councilman and vice mayor, too.
There you go.
And Public Works director.
And Public Works. So you've been around. You've been busy.
Yes, I've been working with the city for a long time.
All right. So we're going to try to keep this brief, with both of you. I mean, but get as much information as we can. So, well, let's start it out. I mean, how does it feel?
Well, it feels good. I'm very happy. First of all, I want to thank Team Garino. They did a great job.
Yeah, we have a lot of pictures of Team Garino that we're going to be showing. This great team that you have.
Yeah, they worked very hard for 8 months, and it didn't matter what time or what day or whatever we decided to walk, they were there to walk. And knocking on doors, and matter of fact, a lot of them learned a lot because they hadn't participated in any election prior to this. But I want to thank them first, and then I want to thank the residents of Nogales, because what we created with Team Garino is what I want to take forward for the next 4 years, which is actually a movement for Nogales, which I want the people of Nogales to be involved. You know, City Hall doesn't belong to the city manager, to the mayor, or to the city council. It belongs to the residents of Nogales.
Absolutely.
So I want them to be part of City Hall. I want them to be part of every event that we have, and I want them to volunteer.
Okay.
So that's one of the things I want to start, you know, as soon as I take office. And with Team Garino, those same people are going to be part of that committee growth that we plan to do in the city of Nogales. So it's going to be good.
Awesome. I was actually talking to your wife, Kathy, just the other day, and she was talking about some ideas of actually still, even though you've won, going out door to door in the community and inviting people to be part of what's going on in the city.
You know, that is key, Joe. You know, when I was mayor, I created an initiative that was called Clean City, Healthy City. So, and we used to go once a month and pick a neighborhood and talk to the people, and they would go out and help us clean weeds and stuff. We had the police department and the police chief help us, and a lot of us would go out and clean up. We would put dumpsters in certain places of the city so that the people can take some of the refuse or some of the stuff that they have at home that they cannot take, either because they don't have a truck or they're elderly, and we would dispose of it as a city. I want to do those programs so we can have a clean city and a healthy city, but at the same time, I need to have the people get involved because they tell you exactly what they need in their neighborhood.
Of course.
You know, it's easy to send the public works director to look at the streets and everything, you know, but what we need to do is, you know, because we were talking with people, even though there were potholes in front of their street, that wasn't their main issue.
Interesting.
You know, their main issue was probably their children. You know,
Okay.
what can the city do for their children, recreational wise, and you know, and stuff like that. And then the big one was economic development.
Okay.
You know, they needed jobs and stuff. So that's why my propositions were based on what people wanted. So you know, like the revitalization of downtown, that's in the back of their mind.
Okay.
You know, they didn't like to see downtown empty the way it was, you know, and it's actually coming back a little bit, you know, with the Morley Group and people and you know the historic Main Street and everybody that has been involved in it for a while. But I think City Hall needs to get involved in this more.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely.
and then get the residents of Nogales get involved in this. And actually, the biggest one is get the property owners of those buildings to get involved.
Okay. Now there was actually a viewer that I was speaking with earlier today that asked that what we say in English we also confirm in Spanish. So can you summarize what you just said in Spanish for some of our viewers who might not speak English?
No, seguro que sí. Lo que estaba hablando es de hacer un grupo en Nogales, un movimiento en Nogales de todas las vecindades, de todas las colonias, un grupo de voluntarios para poder trabajar, sacar a Nogales adelante. Cuando yo estaba de alcalde, creé una organización de voluntarios que se llamaba Ciudad Limpia, Ciudad Saludable, y quiero volver a seguir con esto. En los últimos 4 años no se hizo nada de eso, y eso es para ayudarse a limpiar junto con el municipio de la ciudad y los residentes de las colonias, ayudarles a limpiar sus corrales también, no nomás las calles. Para la gente de tercera edad, la gente
Claro
que no
sí.
tiene troques, que no tiene manera de sacar la basura, ayudarles con eso, porque necesitamos de ser una ciudad. Otra cosa, quiero recordarles que la ciudad y el ayuntamiento no es de los regidores, no es del mayor, no es del manejador, es de ustedes.
Así es.
Y eso es lo más importante. Tenemos que ser parte de todo esto, ir a las sesiones de cabildo para asegurar que si tienen una inquietud, menciónenla, porque es la única manera que se pueden hacer las cosas. Ustedes votaron por mí y votaron por los regidores que van a tomar puesto. Ahora el voto de ustedes, que sea un voto que valga, y ayúdenos a nosotros que valga y para sacar a Nogales adelante. Y otra cosa que mencioné ahorita es muy importante revivir el centro de Nogales. La parte más importante es de tener una área donde pueda caminar uno a gusto en las noches, pasarse un tiempo a gusto en los sábados y los domingos, como se hacía en el pasado. Puede hacer que se necesiten diferentes negocios en estas tiendas. hay que sentarnos a hablar con los dueños de los locales estos para ver si ellos pueden participar y ayudar en esto también, porque uno no puede hacerlo solo si ellos
Claro
no
que
quieren.
no.
¿No?
Takes this whole city
Entonces
to-
tenemos que trabajar en eso y voy a ponerle mucha fuerza en esto y voy a trabajar incansable para asegurar que esto se haga, porque yo me comprometí con todos ustedes durante mi campaña, cuando estuve hablando con ustedes, de que eso es lo que iba a hacer y eso es lo que necesita Nogales ahorita, y hay que no manearnos ahorita, hay que trabajar duro para todos ustedes, pero ayúdenos a nosotros también como comunidad.
Claro que sí. So he actually just, for those of you who may not speak Spanish, he actually answered a question that I was about to ask him, and that was about downtown Nogales and his efforts that he was going to take to revitalize it, bring businesses back, which have been disappearing from the area. I mean, Bracker is one of the biggest.
There's ways of doing it, Joe, as long as the property owners are with you, because there's public-private ways of doing these things, and it's done in other cities. The city can help out in a lot of ways, when there's permit issues, when there's different types of things that you need to do to be able to bring these things to the light. The city has to be part of it. And we want to see the buildings look the same. We don't want them torn down. We don't want the FEMA map issue causing the buildings to have problems.
Of course.
So that's why the city's there. Okay, let's help you find out exactly how we're going to get this done, and let's talk between the city and the county with the flood control issues that there are, the issues that we have downtown. Let's talk about these things. But we have to all be a team. And that's the only way we're going to do it. Okay. I know everybody's concentrating on the Mariposa Road. Mariposa Road, the only thing you're going to get is growth there.
Yeah.
And of course, that's going to be one of the shopping areas. Eventually, might have different malls there, might have different businesses. But let's not forget the downtown area.
No, downtown is vital to Nogales.
It's vital. And if we can bring different types of businesses, attractions, that it doesn't all have to be retail. It can be different.
Of course.
You have the Mercado right now. You have the Placita that's been, improved a lot. Well, let's get the walkers. Let's get the people that need to come down to that area and drink coffee. I'll give you an example. When I was the public works director under Marco Lopez administration, myself and the engineer of the city acquired a grant for Terrace Avenue. And Terrace Avenue is actually a pedestrian walkway friendly street. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah.
From Crawford to the port, Morley Avenue, where the Glorieta is at, the cul-de-sac, all that was supposed to be pedestrian only. It was supposed to have kiosk in the middle of the road. All the wiring was supposed to go and everything. We got $500,000 to get started on that grant.
Okay.
All right? We got part of the work done. So we need to continue doing that. If we got a grant through SEGO or through CDBG money, and all the councils of government approved it, and ADOT to help us out on that, why can't we do that to Morley?
That'd be great.
That'd
be great.
We can do those things.
Now, one last thing, because we gotta wrap this up,
Yes.
and we gotta give Mr. Milner his time too. But this is a question that's been on my mind, and I know that it's been on some other people's mind that I've talked to, and that's mencionaste ese equipo, team.
Mm-hmm.
That it has to be a team. There's some changes at City Hall. Not just the mayor, but also City Council. And to really move forward and to get anything done, the City Council needs to be a team.
Yes.
Do you feel like that with the City Council that's coming in, and that's the ones that are already there, Mr. Henesian, Mr. Varon, Dr. Varona, do you feel like you can, with the new people and the old people, do you think you can make a comprehensive team that can get things done?
That's my main goal,
Okay.
That's why I have these 2 months. And my transition is going to be with the city manager and some of the directors.
Of course.
Because I actually need to know exactly what kind of budget I'm going to have by the
by the inauguration.
Yeah. And so, but I've already talked to some of the members of the city council.
Okay.
And the thing is that I know that there's that famous 3-4 vote and stuff that everybody talks about.
Yeah.
But it's not always that way. When I was mayor, I had there was a big conflict also in the city council because some of the members of the city council that were going to stay were not supporting me in my campaign. But I didn't go in there and try to say, you know why, because you didn't support me, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
No, I made sure that we got together. So everything that we voted that had to do with the day in, day out of the city and the government and the budget and paving streets, everything, we all voted unanimously. But there were some issues that, of course, are going to be controversial.
Of course.
It all depends which council or which two council bring that agenda item.
When change comes through controversy.
So at that moment, as mayor, you have to look at these things and say, okay, you know what? I'll support this. But the key to these agenda items, Joe, is the debate we have on the chamber, or in public.
Yeah.
Not in a closed room. Not on by calling you at home. Hey, what do you think? You're not supposed to do that. Do it in the chamber. Open door.
That's one of the things that's really frustrated me about city council meetings for the last few years is you go and you're there for 15 minutes and then they do a closed session for the next 2 hours.
Yes.
So I'm glad that there's going to be that kind of change.
Yes.
I'll be looking forward to seeing.
My administration will be an open door policy, a transparent and sound government.
Okay.
The cameras that were installed in the hallway going to the mayor's office, that's the first thing that's coming down.
All right.
I do not believe that you have to film everybody that's going into the mayor's office, and I think those doors need to be open, and everybody that needs to go talk to the mayor, if you show up to pay your water bill and you say, can I talk to the mayor, they should be able to say, you know what, let me see if he's not busy and see if he can come out.
All right.
One more thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to be able to have meetings at City Hall in the evenings, in the lobby.
So town halls,
kind of like town hall, but a cafecito, with pan dulce and stuff like that for people to show up, but after working hours, and not in the council chamber. See, council chambers scare people.
Yeah, they do.
Because you have to go to the podium, you have to do all this. But if you're like this to talk,
an open forum.
Once in a while, a Saturday morning to get together with people. That's why I want to say is Movimiento Nogales.
Okay.
We have to get Nogales involved. Everyone needs to get involved so that if the city council decides on something, it's because the people wanted that.
All right.
So I
have one last question and try to make this answer as brief as possible because this is something that's some people have been afraid would happen maybe, and that's when Mayor Doyle took office, he automatically started making changes. He started making movements. He started getting rid of people and putting in new people, and then getting rid of those people and putting in new people. People are afraid that that's what's going to happen again. What are your plans?
No.
Okay.
With me, nothing like that's going to happen.
All right.
There's some contracts of certain. There's only certain people that are called appointed people.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you an idea. The city manager, the city attorney, the city magistrate.
Of course.
The clerk of the city. Those people are appointed by the city council. They have contracts.
Yeah.
When their contract comes up, then there's a decision made if we're going to go out and bring somebody else or interview other people or renew their contract.
Of course.
But when it comes to classified positions, which I know happened this time around that wasn't supposed to happen, the mayor and the city council are legislators and policymakers, not city managers.
All right.
The city managers take care of that. The only person that you might see new there would be the executive assistant of the mayor, because that is an appointed position, and it's my decision to who I want to bring to my office as executive assistant. That'd be the person that'd be closest to me to do certain things in the office and calls and meet people and stuff like that and schedule meetings and stuff. But besides that, with me, you're not going to see that.
Okay.
You're going to see you're going in, continuation, sound government, and start to work.
Sounds good.
I've been to several rodeos already. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. You've been around the block.
When I go in January, it's not like I'm gonna scratch my head and say, "Oh, now what now?" No, we're gonna start something. It starts January. Start working like it was one transition, smooth transition to the other, and just go.
Awesome. Very cool. So thank you very, very much for talking with us. And I do want to say real quick that it is too bad to see, that, Councilman Joe Diaz couldn't run again. His term was up. He can run again next one, but
yes.
He's a good man. He's a friend of mine. And it'll be different in the city council chambers without him.
Well, actually, he's got 1 year to rest.
Yeah.
Because if he wants to come back after the first year, You start campaigning in January of next year for November of the following year.
So Joe, we'll see what happens, huh?
Yes.
And then, of course, Councilman Lucero also gave up his seat.
Yes.
And will be stepping down from politics in the city.
And but we're going to have a good city council. We're going to have a good open policy where you're going to feel comfortable. If you go to a council meeting, you're going to feel comfortable there, and you're going to feel comfortable with the results that we're going to have in the city.
Awesome.
You're going to like that.
Now, time to shift tones a little bit, and we're going to talk about music, education, and everything that Mr. Fred Milner has going on. Now, real quick, I just want to say that for me, my elementary school music program was a big part of forming the creative person that I am today. And music programs in public education are disappearing. They're disappearing all over. I mean, I believe TUSD, none of the schools in TUSD, in the Tucson Unified School District, have music programs anymore. But it makes me so happy. I mean, when my son started Challenger, to see this comprehensive music program that doesn't just teach kids how to play music, it teaches kids to enjoy music and to feel music. And, I get so excited about it. Let's let you talk about it.
Well, you're right. I have the job that is so much fun because kids love to come. Everybody identifies with music.
Oh, and real quick, like I said, is actually one of the moms from Challenger Elementary School that asked that we do it in English and Spanish. So if you feel comfortable doing that, let's do both.
Okay, pues me dijiste que tu programa de música era muy impactante en tu vida y sí, es una de las cosas que tengo niños que después de años vienen y me dicen, estábamos en un viaje por la carretera y andábamos cantando las canciones que nos enseñaste.
Claro, sí, sí.
So I've had kids come back to me and tell me we were on a road trip and we were singing the school song or we were singing different things and that's what I love about music is the kids remember all that. They remember the songs, they remember what we did, and it's a great thing for kids.
It's so cool to go to any assembly or, even the Friday morning assemblies that happen weekly. Music is a very, very big part of everything that school does. And it's incredible to see. And to see you front and center. And the kids, they aren't just standing there and, going through the motions. They're into it. Mm-hmm. They're part of it. And you're right at the forefront, facilitating, and it's incredible to see, okay, so I just get so excited about it.
Thank you.
I get so excited about this. That's one of the reasons why I love having my son in Challenger so much. So let's go back. So you're a Nogalian, correct?
I went to high school junior and senior year. I lived in Texas before that, but as I was growing up, the only vacation I ever took from Texas was to Nogales.
Okay.
You didn't go to Disney?
Didn't go to Disney. Didn't go to Six Flags. Nothing. It was where we're going this year.
Let's pack up the car. We're going to Nogales.
Yeah, that was it.
And you actually graduated like a year before Superintendent Barra, right? Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah. And where did you go to school? Where after?
I went to the University of Arizona.
And what did you study?
Music education. Actually, I studied secondary music education, so I was planning on being a band director.
Okay.
But the first job I received was Coronado with Annette Barber.
Okay, very cool. And how long were you at Coronado?
3.5 years.
All right. And take us through the steps. What led you to where you are right now?
Well, I love music. Music is what paid my way through college. I had a scholarship. Played the tuba in the Nogales High School band and in the U of A band. And so I was planning on being a high school band director. And as I got married, I could see that it's an all-encompassing job.
Yeah.
It takes your life. It's not just 9 to 5. It's not just a little bit after that. It's weekends, it's nights, and so there was an opening for elementary music, and I took it, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoy working with kids. It's less stress, and it gives me a chance to do other things. I do other things outside of just teaching.
Absolutely. I mean, you even have the Good News Club after school that you're in charge of, right? And
yes.
That's an opportunity for kids for tutoring, or what is it exactly? If you
the Good News Club is something that's totally apart from the school.
Of course.
But it's a worldwide organization called Child Evangelism Fellowship.
Okay,
and it's
cool.
to teach the kids the Bible.
Okay.
And the Supreme Court ruled on that.
Yeah.
And it said if there's a Girl Scout group or anything that the school district lets them use, then you can have a club like this as well.
Absolutely, yeah. There are schools all over the country have religious clubs that they're separate from the schools, but they're housed inside the school.
Right.
And that's fine. That's great. That's very cool. And you do have a lot going on. I mean, how long have you been a Challenger now?
I have been in Challenger, I think, since 95.
Since 95.
But then I left a few years.
Okay.
My family has a ranch in Mexico, and I went to run that after my father passed away. But my wife said I was really grouchy doing that. She's a lot better than I am at running the ranch. And so I went back to teach, and my wife runs the ranch. And I also I'm the worship leader at Nogales First Baptist Church.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Awesome. You do have a lot going on.
Yes.
And one thing I think that makes you so good at what you do is the passion that you hold for what you do. You enjoy what you do. Mm-hmm. And it comes across in how you do what you do. It's so cool. Why music?
It was something I found out that I was pretty good at.
Okay.
And I would get kudos for music, and I just love music. And like I said, I feel like I have the best and probably the easiest job at the school, and that is teaching kids music and doing. They love to do it, and for right now anyway, it's not on a test that's coming up, and the people aren't stressed out about it. So it's a good place for the kids to come. And also we sing songs for every holiday. And I'm able to teach the kids the holidays. Why do we have Veterans Day? Why we sing songs. We're going to sing tomorrow. If you're a veteran, you can go to our school in the morning at 7:40. We'll have we always have a morning ceremony.
Yeah, on Fridays, the Friday ceremony.
And we're going to honor the veterans tomorrow. And
Arturo,
yeah, so you're welcome to come.
I did 3 tours to Vietnam.
So thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir.
And I was teaching the kids, if you see a veteran, go up and ask your parents if you can ask, if you can say thank you for your service to the veterans. Yeah. And schools are there to teach the kids how to be a good citizen of our country, how to appreciate our country, how to keep it going and not let it disappear. And so teaching the holidays is very important, and it's actually in the state law that we should. And so music is the best way to do it, and so that's just part of it. Kids just love it, and it keeps our school unified. And your son is going to be in a program on Tuesday before Thanksgiving.
Yes, actually, I wanted to talk to you about that because he got so excited. He got so excited, and he showed me. He said, "Dad, I'm going to be a TV reporter." And I thought, "Oh, that's awesome! Like father, like son."
Yes.
And he's really excited about it. I'm glad that he's going to be part of it.
Yes.
Yeah.
We practiced with him today. We had the TV reporters come in, and they're going to dance and sing, and they're going to actually stand with a microphone just like I am right now. And,
very cool.
And they're going to. And your son did a great job.
Oh, good,
he was
awesome.
A natural. I would say, he knows TV reporting a little bit.
Yeah, well, he's actually been interviewed on TV before, so he's got some experience, I guess.
Great.
So, I mean, plays, and that's another thing that you do. I mean, aside from the music at the ceremonies, I mean, and you guys do ceremonies for everything, and it's awesome because it gives these kids an opportunity to observe and recognize these holidays, like you said, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, virtually every holiday, and it's really cool. But you also, you're in charge of the theater program essentially for
Yes.
Challenger School and elementary school. And how does that work? Do you guys do it by grade level or?
Yes, every grade does a musical every year. And so this year, the kindergarten, they're going to do probably the Rainbow Fish. Actually, we haven't totally nailed it down, but that's what we did last year. And it's just a story about not hoarding, but sharing with your gift and your talents with others.
Very cool.
And the first grades, the first graders, they do a Mother's Day, and we have the mariachi from the high school comes, and we have this big event, and the first graders sing to the moms. And second grade is going to do the Turkeys Go on Strike. And it's a funny musical. It's not that long, but it teaches what Thanksgiving is about in a very fun way. And the kids love it. The audience loves it.
So it's not just about eating turkey?
Matter of fact, the turkeys...
I've had it wrong the whole time?
No, that's right. There's actually a song at the end. It's called "It's Not About Turkey."
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
So and last year the 4th and 5th graders did the Nutcracker, and we did that at the high school. And
in the big auditorium?
Yes, we did it on stage.
That must have been such a cool experience for them. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's great for the kids. They get to. When I was in elementary school and all the way through high school, I was the shyest kid in the world. I mean, I remember being in Mrs. Scott's English class and just having to give a report, and my knees were shaking, and I was saying and and all that.
Of course.
And so it's good to give the kids an opportunity. Some kids, you see them and they seem like the shyest kid in class, but then you give them a part in a musical, and all of a sudden, boom, they just shine.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I think a lot of kids, when they do have that opportunity to be out in front of people, that barrier that's holding them back, it just gets knocked right down.
Yes.
And they finally get that opportunity to shine in a judgmental-free zone.
Yes.
And that's great that you're providing that with them. Yeah, because even though I did have a music program when I was growing up, there was nothing like that for us to experience. And I was that shy kid too. And up until high school, then the shyness went way out of the way, and I went the whole other direction.
Yeah, we can tell. Here you are.
Yeah. So, what else can you say? I mean, let's invite people to the Fall Festival tomorrow, of course. And yes. I mean,
what's going on at Challenger? Yes, there's the Fall Festival. It's to raise money for the different teachers, like you said, to go on field trips to see things that they may not see. We're grateful for the Tucson Symphony Orchestra. At the end of the year, all of our kids get to go and see the Tucson Orchestra.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
The kinder through second grade, they go. The 3rd to 5th graders, they all get, and donors to the Tucson Symphony, they pay for that.
That's so
for
cool.
The kids to go.
That's awesome.
And Alfredo Velasquez last year paid for our chorus to go up to Phoenix to the Musical Instrument Museum, because we go and we sing for the city and the county and for the Council on Aging every year. Our choir does.
Okay.
And what was your question again?
Oh, no, just what's going on. But, while you're rambling, actually, I just remembered a couple of other things that I think we might have some pictures for. Challenger Elementary was one of the groups of kids that sang at the Relay for Life.
Yes.
And you guys were also invited to speak at, Mayor Doyle's State of the City address. That's right. And, actually, some feedback that I'd heard at the Relay for Life was that the Challenger Elementary's kids were the only ones who very visibly knew all the words to the songs they were singing, and that was really cool to hear.
We have great kids. I'm very proud of the choir kids. About half of them showed up to the State of the City address, but they sang out, and I'm very proud of them. And they've been invited to sing at the 100-year anniversary of the library.
Oh wow, that's cool. That's
December
so cool.
the 8th.
Yeah.
And all the elementary school choirs are going to be going to Phoenix on December the 14th. They're going to sing in the Capitol Rotunda. Oh. And so they stand around. There's a big, the rotunda's the opening, and on the 3rd floor there you can stand around, and it sounds awesome. All the kids will go, and then they'll go to Organ Stop Pizza, which is the biggest theater organ in the world.
Awesome. Very, very cool.
So
before we actually wrap this up, we have some comments that we'd like to we since we're on utilize social media as our platform, it's interactive, which is really cool. So let's see what we've got. Salo Bonilla, city council candidate. Unfortunately he did not win, but he's a good friend of ours, and he says hello. Maria Gutierrez, she's a mom from Challenger. She says hi and give you a thumbs up.
We have great parents at Challenger. Maria Gutierrez with her and the PC, they're always there. Every time I have a musical, they decorate the stage. They do a good job. You as well. The parents are fantastic. They're at the school. Thank you, parents.
We've also got Mercedes Castro. She gave a thumbs up. We have one who says that she, this is in response to the No Shave November challenge, and that says that she refuses to not shave her legs. Norman de la Osa gives a thumbs up, and actually that one is Deborah Hewitt, and she's actually a friend of mine. Her and her husband moved here from Wyoming not too long ago, and they've jumped right into the community and been a good part of it there. I think they're going to be a big part of the community in the coming years. And then Maria Gutierrez also says, Mr. Milner, el mejor maestro de música, muy dedicado y creativo para hacer unas grandes obras teatrales con los niños de Challenger. Challenger está súper orgulloso de tenerlo. El mejor número uno.
Gracias, María.
Good. Very good.
Okay, I got one for you. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
All right, so Mike Carrasco. Have you met Mike Carrasco before?
I think so.
Okay. His question is, he likes to know what would be different from when you were mayor before.
Oh, there's going to be a lot of difference. That was 4 years ago. Times have changed. There are more needs now, especially economic-wise. So many stores have closed in Nogales that we need to address and find out exactly what happened. The Economic Development Department and the person running that department were people that were terminated in this administration, which we need to bring back.
Okay.
There's a lot of work to do, and a lot more paving to do. And another thing that we need to do is address the issues with councils of government. Nogales is one of the parts of the SECO government, the Southern Eastern government. And the only way we can address the tourism part and bringing people to Nogales is assuring that we have great communications with MAG and PAG, which is two councils of government that are in central Arizona. That's how we can bring those people, get their information, help them, give them the information for them to use it so that they can attract people to Nogales for, economic reasons. There's a lot of work, and I wish I would have been reelected, because all these things that I'm telling you right now was the second phase.
They were all in motion.
Yes, they were in motion, and everything stopped completely. And so my concern right now is to bring all that back and make it Nogales, a business-friendly community.
I was gonna say make Nogales great again.
Oh. No,
better not.
No, make it a business-friendly community, and the standard development code. There's been issues that people say, it's so hard to get a permit, it's so hard to get a business license, it's so hard to do this. We have to change all these, and these are the things I want to change, and I hope I answered the question, but there is a lot of work that has to be done, and those are my plans, and I'm going to work very hard in doing that. And like I said, just by having an open door policy where anybody or whoever comes out on social media and decides to, come to the office, you'll see the difference at City Hall.
All right.
Come in January.
Now, before we go, there's one last thing that I'd like to bring up, since it has to do with music, and that was during your previous administration, you facilitated the building of the Charles Mingus Memorial Park,
Yes.
which is used for the Charles Mingus Jazz Festival year-round, which, I mean, as a music director, I'm sure that's something that you could appreciate. Have you guys had a chance to do anything there yet, or?
Well, Let me say one thing.
Okay.
That corner on Western Avenue and Grand, that is the corner I gave
Yes.
through the public-private funding to the Charles Mingus to do that park there, and there's certain things that need to be done, and I think we need to hurry up and finish it.
Okay.
Because I think it's important that we have that part of history identified in Nogales, which is very important. You know, Charles Mingus was a great bass player and a musician and known worldwide.
Absolutely.
Y era de Nogales.
I have
Estaba en Nogales,
some
you know?
Charles Mingus on vinyl at home
Yeah.
that I pull out every now and then.
we have to work on these things. Nogales has so much history, so many opportunities that if we don't open up these venues, then people won't know this, and this is how you attract people to Nogales.
Absolutely.
You know, you can have somebody from Texas show up and come to Nogales on vacation, stay here, huh?
There you go. There you go. So, have you guys had a chance to use that park yet? or-
No, we sang at a few Mingus festivals. Our chorus did, but we have not had a chance to go use the park.
Okay,
So
so there's a perfect
We'll have to talk to the
collaboration
mayor.
right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know a guy. So.
Actually, we'll address that issue immediately because
Good.
in April, that's when you do that Mingus the festival, don't you? That we need to address it, get the electrical, get the landscaping, get everything taken care of to bring it in April, and we'll work on that for you.
great, thank you.
All right. So I want to thank both of you for what you guys do for the city of Nogales and what you guys do for the community, and for coming out here and being part of our show. I mean, we went over by a good amount of time, but it was some great conversations. So I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed being here.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Okay.
I hope you invite me more.
Oh, you'll be back. You know, you'll be back,
Yeah.
and
Thank
I'm
you
going to
for
have
the
you back
opportunity.
too if you're willing to come.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so we're going to go. But before we go, don't forget, give us a like and a share. These men sitting right here next to me, they deserve it. They work hard at what they do, and they deserve to be recognized for that. And the city, the community, they deserve. And in fact, recently we've picked up viewers all over the world. And so this show isn't just representing Nogales within the city of Nogales. This show is representing Nogales all over the world. So share. Let the world know. Let the whole world know what Nogales is. That it's, I mean, some feedback that we get is that, isn't Nogales dangerous? Isn't Nogales scary? And we know that it's not. We who live here know that it's not. So let's let the world know that. Let's help Nogales grow. And a bit part of that is to share this. So I thank you for watching, and I thank you guys for coming. We'll see you next week.